Hey guys, this is John.
And Austin.
And this is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast brought to you by Waltons. So before we get to anything else, we usually save news stories for a little bit further on, but we've got an urgent one here. I wish I had a little beep.
Is this what we just talked about right before we came on podcast?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not talking about that. A loose tiger has been spotted after escaping a Mexican zoo near the Texas border, and they now think it has actually crossed into Texas. So for our Texas listeners, keep an eye out. Oh my God, do I want to eat some tiger? If you shoot it, smuggle me some.
If it makes its way up this far, I'm gonna build a little habitat for it. I'm gonna keep it in my backyard.
That would be 100 times better, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate cats, but big cats? Big cats? Okay, I'm on board.
But have you ever seen a tiger spray its pee?
No.
You don't want that.
No.
You don't want that.
We went 0 to pea spray.
Yeah, you don't want to actually keep a big tiger. Or this is a Bengal tiger, so it's not a big tiger, but you still don't want to keep
That's
it.
a sweet band too.
The Bengals?
Walk
Yeah, you would like the
an
Bengals.
Egyptian.
Yeah. Again, that's more my generation than yours.
I know. I have to pick my moments with you because you really don't know a lot about stuff. But anyways, please continue. I don't want to derail this whole thing with the.
All right, so whatever. Today's 9/11. Just bad date to do a podcast. Anytime I see that day, I'm
Is
always
it?
like,
Wait, what's today?
23 years.
Oh, it's when I was like,
crazy.
That is insane. We have people working here right now who are not born on that date.
It's wild.
well, September 11th. It's hard to be born on.
Well, you know exactly what I meant, Patrick.
okay.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Anyways, all right. A couple of just like general questions. Do you have a favorite Wichita restaurant?
Ooh, good question.
Currently,
Sure.
of the moment, it is Meddy's.
Meddy's Mediterranean Cafe?
He's
Yeah.
probably, are you
That's
on
not
a
even
vi-
a restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
Sure, it is.
Kids eat for $1.99.
Ah,
So when
gotcha.
we go,
Yep.
my wife and I get a meal. Kids get $1.99 meal, which feeds them like 3 times each. And so we go home with food for like 2 or 3 more meals.
Smart.
It's a great deal.
Did you notice that I moved some of your pictures around when I was leaving last night?
Where?
When I was leaving, I was being
What?
too loud, apparently, like as I was because I'm not used to being in a house with kids. So I'm walking up
You
the stairs. I was like,
screamed.
"See you guys!" They're like, "No, shh." It's like, "Whoops, sorry."
On
Oh,
the
yeah.
on the stairwell, there's a vent that goes into
Into
the
the
AC
rooms?
system,
Yes.
and Leo's room is right on
Right
the other
there,
side.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just go.
But as I was walking back up, I was like, "Oh, they're foolish for letting me come up here alone."
so just
God.
on the like the middle landing.
Mm,
No, up top.
mm.
I don't even know
Somewhere.
what pictures were.
You
Somewhere.
sound-
My-
why don't you just add you to every photo? That'd be great.
That would have been so much. I didn't have enough time to prepare. I didn't have enough time.
Did you
to
change the
prepare.
black frame
I
ones
don't.
around?
I'm not going to say anything. So you'll figure it out eventually.
My
There-
wife might have already known because she quote unquote redecorated the house today. She got out fall pumpkins. All
Oh,
that stuff.
okay. She just did that.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that won't. That shouldn't enter into what I did. All right. Is it cooking if no heat is applied?
no, cooking implies heat.
I agree. So making a salad, you didn't actually cook anything.
No,
Right.
You prepared a salad.
You prepared a salad.
I heard a joke recently. It's hilarious for this. That like
Okay.
not only when you prepare the salad, you're preparing a salad, but every time you go to bite a salad, you're preparing 17 little tiny salads on your fork every time.
Okay.
Because you got to get a little bit of this
stabbing
piece, that
'em.
piece,
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit of cheese, a little bit of crouton,
Okay.
a little bit of cabbage, and then
Yeah.
you take a bite and you enjoy it. And then you go, okay, again, a little bit of lettuce,
A
little
salad?
bit of iceberg, a little bit of that.
Or like a really chunky salsa are the two things like I'll pay a lot of attention to make sure I get certain things on a chip. Or not that I eat salads, but like if I did.
You make sure that's a good bite. You're
Yes.
like, I'm not gonna waste a bite on this.
100%.
Boom.
So I have been doing the Cajun sausage thing since Monday. Now it's only Wednesday, and this is not going well. It's just it. for what
Sounds like a new dance craze. So what exactly is it? Catch us up if
is
we're not.
the Cajun. So I'm made 44 pounds of andouille Cajun sausage and decided that I'm not going to eat anything else, and I mean anything else. How good was I with those breadsticks?
Oh, pretty good.
Oh,
I brought in some local favorites of ours. Is that Fazoli's,
Uh-huh.
the breadsticks. When they're good, they're really good.
Which are amazing.
I also had crumble cookies.
Yeah,
and,
I saw
and
those.
buffalo chicken
And
dip.
I didn't touch those.
And you didn't touch those.
Those are like my 2 faves. Oh my
Oh my
god.
God. I got to eat or drink a Diet Canada Dry Ginger Ale last night, though. It was like the best thing ever. I was so happy about that.
Just go to the bathroom and just start. I don't care.
And then feel bad about it, make myself throw up.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't even eat
out
it.
with the old, in with the new.
All right, so yours is Maddie's. Patrick, do you have one?
I don't know. I'm simple, like one of the. Wow, like easy joke right there. But no, like one of the Wichita brewing companies, I think are really good.
That's not a bad one.
Because not only like they're, to me, the amount of different types of pies they're willing to do is awesome.
Yep.
And my particular favorite type of beers there and stuff like that. So yeah, real easy slam dunk answer for me. So
Yeah, I think mine might be oak and pie. Like,
right down the street.
really might
I've
be, yeah.
yet to go yet.
Oh,
but
is it?
What do you recommend there?
The Coppola.
Okay,
That's really good pizza.
nice.
So and
Is-
it's just,
Is it all like a single size, or do you get to pick, or is it one of those like here you just
I think it's all single size.
like here's
You
your
can get like a small personal,
You can?
or you just get there's a
standard.
regular or a small personal.
Okay.
The small personal is not bad if you do like their lunch special, but
Yeah.
do you get that with a salad.
Yeah,
But
for
otherwise,
dinner, the
yeah.
personal's not gonna. It's
no.
not gonna satisfy.
yeah.
Do you like mushroom pizza?
Ooh, no.
They have a Johnny Shroom pizza. The mushroom and the cheese they have on it is so good.
It's a different cheese.
It's a different cheese.
Yeah, their pizzas are very like artistic. Like there's not you can get just regular pizza, but in general they're fairly out there, for lack of a better term. All right, so we talked about the Old Bay Brat. I have all the ingredients for it, and then I realized I can't make it because I can't eat it until I'm done with this challenge.
Oh, no, you can make it. You just don't want to make it.
Right, fair enough.
Eat your andouille faster.
I'm eating it as fast as I can. There's no way, like I have zero shot in getting that done in 11 days. Not even.
I think you should
remotely
take off
close.
like a few brats at a time. If he like eats his brat like inside Quick Trip next to the rolling grillers and be like, you guys should really try this one. This one's really good. And then just like recommend it and it's not there.
Is there anything I can do to reduce to 44 pounds?
Did you start Sunday or did you start Monday?
Monday. Because
Monday,
listen,
Tuesday.
Notre
Tuesday,
Dame
Thursday.
lost.
Okay.
I had to go to Jubilee. Then the Commanders, Redskins, whatever, were god awful. I mean, they weren't as bad as Notre Dame, but I needed something to
Dude.
like assuage me there, and I did it in food.
If you could have heard the glee for like 4 to 5 seconds that was John thinking they missed the field goal to give them the go ahead. Yes, they missed it. And I was like, I'm a fan too. So I'm like, oh, cool. That's awesome. And then he goes, no, they made it. And I look around at everyone else, like, just to let you guys know, that means the rest of the night's not going to go as good as it could have.
I was punching the top of our cooler as like hard as I could in excitement when I thought that.
And I was like, oh, good. What a relief. Psych.
Here's John in a bad mood.
Nah.
Speaking of John in a bad mood, it's the end of the night. Your sister Patrick, the new
Helpers, guys.
part-time guy, Austin, which is, I don't like the fact we keep hiring people with the same names. Myself and Chase.
Makes cloning real easy, though. You know what
It
I mean?
does, actually.
Yeah, it's like,
We're all just walking around, and we Irish goodbye Colton and his friends. So we all just kind of went like, we're going to the bathroom, and then we just took off. So we were just walking around. We're at the front gates, and Allie's like, oh, I'm just going to go this way. And I was like, well, just go out the way that we came in. It's way closer. And nope. She's like, I think you have to go this way. I was like, you don't. So then I try to go out the way, and there's these 4 women sitting there. And I just didn't like the tone they took with me. They go, you can't go that way. And I look down at them, I go, there's nothing the 4 of you could do to stop me from doing anything I wanted to do. And they just kind of paused for a second. And one was like, yeah, you're right. Someone's like, but I've got pepper spray. I was like, oh, I've wanted pepper spray my entire life. Bring it on. I'm like, let's go. And then I kind of was just like, why am I being a jerk? I was like, all right, whatever.
I was wondering.
So-
I heard these 4 ladies making fun of some guy's mustache. And I put it together. I was like, that'd be funny if John was here to hear that. But.
All right, so let's address the mustache in the room. It is a rally mustache or whatever you want to call it, and I'm not shaving it until my house sells.
Have you trimmed it, or is that as much as it grows?
This is as much as it grows,
okay.
baby. And it's about
just stopped.
it's about a, no. In
It
about
does
a
look
week.
like it just stopped. It just looks like it kind of grew, and then it just kind of just.
Went, I'm done.
Remember the Joe Dirt joke? He
I'm
goes,
dying very slowly.
It just grows in all white trashy like that.
I don't even trim it or nothing. So we'll see how long this goes hopefully my house sells soon so I can shave this off and get out of that place. But yeah, so I was doing the Old Bay Brat, the calculations for it, and Dave and AZ really helped me out because I was about to add way too much Old Bay seasoning. And MDC side kind of was helping or pointed out was making a bonehead mistake as well.
So what's the sweet spot? How much Old Bay to get per 5 pounds?
For 5 pounds, I think we said it was 100 and something grams.
120.
100, yeah, it's 100, 119 or something like that. It's in the Meatgistics post. So I'm going to make that as soon as I'm done with.
How many grams come in a regular thing of Old Bay? Just the stock and standard?
It's 0.6 grams, and I think they said there's 200 and something servings in it.
Okay.
Because a serving is 0.6 of a gram. I think they said 240.
So if we just did that simple,
right? I
so
think, but I could be wrong.
So you got enough for a 5 pound in a regular.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of Old Bay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. More than enough. More than enough.
Well, that's good. Just getting in the ballpark with the idea for it, so we can gear up for a week or two or whenever you make them. So
yeah, I might be done with like spicier sausages for a while though. Once I'm done with this.
I bet. Yeah.
And my stomach is unhappy, and I'm bloated. That's what I don't get. Like I've been eating nothing but meat and spicy brown mustard. My stomach's just like, nope, we're pushing out.
What casing are you eating? Natural?
It's collagen.
Huh. That's interesting.
Any thoughts?
Some of it's just the quantity of food that you're eating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't bloat. You should de-bloat.
Right.
But it also, I don't know, you could just be a little sensitive to the spices.
What?
If it's spicy, you just could be getting inflamed throughout. Like,
I got a killer idea.
That sounds right.
Why am I not filming this like it's Super Size Me? But with just it's like a parody of it. And it's
I
just
don't want
you
to be followed around everywhere.
Super Sausage Me.
I'm
John. Hold on, this isn't up to you, Austin. Do you approve of a video project like this?
I thought he was supposed to
I
already
am.
be videotaping himself every time he ate.
No, but I want to take it to the next
I
level.
forgot one today. though.
I got to get me involved, and then we can really push it forward and have that very.
He wants to be the next Morgan Spurlock. He
No.
talks about him all the time, even after he died.
I practically killed the guy. I talked about him so much in that room. Let me tell you.
That's true.
But no, yeah, it just film it. You got to have a dedicated video guy, like the one crew on MTV. They had Rick Kosick the whole time. There's a certain style to it. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like if we're doing this, we should go all in. So yeah, I'm on Patrick's side.
I don't want Patrick following me around.
So
everywhere.
next time, so this is a good prelim trial test for you to do on a very short-term basis. When we go full year with it, I think we're down.
We're definitely not going a full year with this.
Oh,
Dude, you could save so much money.
At what cost, though?
Just your happiness.
I laid down just my happiness. I laid down yesterday. My whole throat went. Here's some hot acid in it. I was like, oh, that's good. That's a nice development.
well, let me ask you a question. You've had that happen before, right?
Not really.
So the answer is yes.
I mean, maybe, but acid reflux is not like something I've ever had a problem with.
Why'd you pick a spicy sausage?
Because I really like the taste of that sausage.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you'd have been fine if you would have just done like a blue ribbon.
Yeah, it's boring.
Actually, I would have gone even like tamer than that. You'd have been real great if you'd have done like
Johnsonville.
Swiss or something like that.
Yeah, it's too late now. That was stupid. But I'm known for making.
So what's the next
decisions,
thing you're going to
so.
force yourself to eat on Walton's dime? This is interesting. It seems
The next one is 33 days of filet mignon. That's it.
Yeah.
Just filet mignon for 33
He's like,
days.
okay, I think I could do only steak now. Just hold on, let me practice.
I'm gonna have to try that one first.
But I think I am starting to get into the keto flu because I'm sweaty, even though I'm cold and I don't feel great. So
That's so funny.
I think I'm starting to be like, my body's like,
you're in good shape.
You need
but like,
a carb.
take that sentence and then apply it to like an obese guy. It's just so funny where you just be like, I think I'm in the keto flu, guys. I'm always sweating, and I just something about maybe I need a carb. You guys think it's ready for me to have a carb? It's just a funny sentence.
I guarantee you, if I'd eaten one of those breadsticks, I would feel a lot better right now.
That's a good point. Maybe not though. Maybe it'd go the other way. It would just be like, yes, and then now you feel terrible.
Right, I'd
Crash.
crash. But all right, from the Wall Street Journal, dear men, you're eating too much meat. That is absolutely not accurate, and
False.
I will continue to eat more meat just because of
Here's
that.
an idea. Let's put some photos in your newspaper. You might sell a few copies. You know what I mean?
And stop with the political cartoons that nobody gets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing I know about, like, I see the WSJ, and then other than that, I don't really,
Pay any attention to
I
it.
mean, they're pulling headlines from everywhere else. There's nothing where it's like unique to the Wall Street Journal.
No, I agree.
There's Sudoku elsewhere. I don't need them.
Is there Sudoku in there?
I don't
No,
know.
I don't
I
think
don't-
there is. I doubt there is. All right. Boar's Head is going to face further lawsuits after the deaths and hospitalizations. This is kind of an interesting story because this looks like it's actually going to go somewhere. They are looking at not only suing Boar's Head, but also suing government agencies that oversaw the plant. I assume that means
good luck with
USDA
that.
inspectors.
Well, won't they have to prove that they knew of some wrongdoing?
It seems
and
like
that
they did.
were okay with.
They had
man.
had problems for months at this plant ahead of it, and they didn't shut it down.
You'd have to show gross negligence to be able to do that.
There was pools of blood on the floor, a stink in the freezer for months.
Hold on, these are good metal lyrics. Let me write these down.
And I can't remember what the third kind of damning one was, but there was another one that was like, ooh,
Heavy.
like that's not good.
Heavy, right?
Heavy. So this might actually end up going somewhere. Be interesting to keep an eye on it. They said that it spread to dozens of different ones, but all the sicknesses that I've read were tied directly to the liverwurst one. So, I mean, it makes sense that if you had liverwurst and then sliced it, it would get on the slicer and then cause other problems. But yeah, just
Were you guys buying Boar's Head before this?
it's kind of expensive.
That's what I thought. It would always be on the upper end, or it definitely have to be on sale. But I mean, as far as like appearance wise and packaging, though, it's like kind of top notch.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's even separate of everyone else.
Oh,
so
it's
that's
phenomenal.
so it's almost terrifying to think that the better item than the $1 thing over there, and the individual crappy packages that has the translucent looking, roast beef. But
So it's a lot easier to make those products though than it is to like make some of the more difficult stuff that Boar's Head would be trying to make, like liverwurst, whatever. So
yeah.
but yes, no, that is frightening to think of it that way.
So what was, I mean, for us that aren't very aware, what was the exact contamination and
Listeria outbreak tied to liverwurst, Boar's Head, and then they say dozens of other deli meats at this point. But it definitely began with their liverwurst.
man?
And unfortunately, like you don't think of a lot of like 20 and 30-year-olds eating liverwurst, right? Like that's an older person's snack. And those are the people who are going to be more susceptible to.
So you're thinking there's a conspiracy here, then, John?
Trying to kill off old people?
Oh, it's population control.
Could
baby.
be. Could be.
What's Boar? What's its Latin root? Maybe there's like it's right in front of us the whole time.
The name of the company or the family that started it is like Burschen from Germany. So you never know.
Not touching that one.
All right. What do you think the most stolen food is from the grocery store?
Stolen food. Ooh, something near
It's
the
food.
front.
Yep.
So it's either
Well-
mints, gum, or Snickers.
No.
Damn it. Ice.
No. It's food. Ice isn't food.
You can eat ice.
You could eat ice, but you could also eat dirt.
I don't know. What would. There's nothing.
Nothing pops at you.
Nothing that pops. I'm like, oh, that'd be easy
Oh,
to conceal
apple.
and
Strawberry. Apple.
It's not a fruit.
meat.
Nope.
Hold on. I like this game. Blah, blah, blah.
It's displayed.
Steak.
It's displayed in a very particular way at stores.
Pop.
Nope. It's usually
Chips.
separate,
Steak.
horseshoe kind of type thing.
It's on the outside.
Yeah.
Lobster.
What?
Cheese.
What?
Like the cut wedge cheese.
Are you serious?
Yep. That's why they always have lights over it, and that's why that station is usually manned. Like at the Dillons,
because
if you
people
go
can
here,
just put that sliver of cheese kind of anywhere.
and it's like, expensive enough to make it worth stealing. And then apparently, it's quite often resold. Like I don't know who they're reselling it to, but yeah. So
That's wild.
I saw that and was laughing about it. Austin sent this to me earlier this week. It said, "This is how the pandemic starts. H5 bird flu in Missouri patient with no known link to sick animals," from yahoo.com. They are hoping that he ate some raw milk, and that's how he got it. How's that raw milk stuff going?
Good.
Yeah, still enjoying it?
Mhm.
You continue?
Yeah.
If you get bird flu and pass it to me. Although, we talked about, I was listening to somebody who was like, it's got a 30% mortality rate. Like, nobody in the U.S. has died from it yet. Like, 14 people have had it. All 14 people recovered. That's not a 30% mortality rate. So, even if it does jump to humans, it might be another much ado about nothing. All right, even though we were already talking about meat matters type things. These are officially the meat matters ones. Anthrax outbreak kills moose and multiple beef herds in Wyoming. So not just a beef, like it killed the herd. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department announced September 3rd that a dead moose had tested positive for anthrax in Carbon County, while on the same day, the Wyoming Livestock Board shared that multiple beef herds located in Carbon County have also been found infected with anthrax. So recent detection in a moose is the only documented case reported in wildlife at this time. The last confirmed case of anthrax in wildlife in Wyoming was 1956. This is the first confirmed anthrax Wyoming cattle since 1970. So, I mean, we all kind of know anthrax from occasionally somebody will go crazy and mail some of it to a politician or famous person, whatever, just being a wacko. But it is a spore that lives in the ground and it can stay there for decades. And once it's disturbed, the spores come up and can infect whatever's around it breathing, just getting on its skin and then ingesting it. But it's worrisome.
I didn't know that. Yeah, you could get anthrax like naturally. I thought, because talking about being September 11th today, that went on around September 11th, 2001.
When
that
people were mailing each
big
other
around that time.
That's right.
And so that was the first time I had heard of really anthrax. And so I thought it was like people did something more of like a lab created type of thing. I didn't know it was like, oh, you can just, go get anthrax spores.
Oh,
that's kind of crazy.
There is one that they totally eradicated in the wild, but Russia still had a bunch of it, and there was an outbreak, and everyone was freaking out about it because they're like, you idiots, we just killed all this, and you either let it loose on purpose or like poisoned somebody with it, and now it's back out in the wild. I can't remember what it was. But beef export momentums continue into July. U.S. beef exports continue building momentum in July. USDA data says July beef exports totaled 110,000 metric tons, up 7% from a year ago, and the second largest so far of 2024. Export value rose 12% to $910 million, also the second highest of the year. July growth was fueled by higher demands in Japan, Taiwan, Mexico, the Middle East, and Asian regions. Asian regions. I don't know what that region is, but whatever.
I don't know what that means.
From January through July, value increased 6% from last year, despite a 2% drop in volume. Pork exports were well above a year ago levels in July, led by a record value for shipments to Mexico. Pork exports reached 24,000 metric tons in July, 10% higher than last year. Export value rose 13% to $710 million, fueled by a record $244.5 million for leading markets in Mexico. Through the first 7 months of 2024, exports were 4% above 2023, and export value rose 6%. So the value is going up higher than the actual export numbers, like year over year. So people are paying more money in other countries for our meat as well. I don't know, good thing, bad thing, but definitely it's something. USDA tightens guidance for use of antibiotic-free and other meat labels. So they did this last week. They released a new guidance encouraging meat producers to produce more documentation verifying animal rights and environmental label claims such as no antibiotics ever or raised with regenerative agricultural practices. The revised guidelines from the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Services recommended producers use third-party verifications to substantiate claims around animal or environmental stewardship. So even though we talked about this going on a year ago, probably at this point, they're still not like doing anything to make them prove that they're antibiotic-free or using regenerative practices. Claims about the use of antibiotics should also be backed up by a routine sampling and testing program, according to the guidance. The USDA said in a news release that the guidelines are meant to be a clear signal to producers that the department will take enforcement action against any establishment found to be making false or misleading negative antibiotic claims. But again, they said this a year ago. I've not heard a single story other than Tyson coming out and going, oh, no, we're no longer antibiotic chicken free, like the next week. So we'll see if they actually follow up with any of those threats. I kind of feel like they're not going to. What are the health benefits of not eating meat? So this is from a long article. We're not going to go through all of it, but they say there are so many alternatives to meats that may not be identical, but are really wildly close, if not preferable. So instead of eating something that's wildly close, I think I'll just continue to eat the thing that thing's trying to get wildly close to. Plus, also, at some point, we have to find somebody who can get on the podcast and talk about this red meat causes type 2 diabetes thing, because I don't possibly see what the mechanism is. Like how that's possible. You have a record number of people doing carnivore, lion diet, whatever you want to call it, and not developing type 2 diabetes. So could it just be that, hey, fatties eat a lot of food, they eat meat, and they eat a bunch of sugary bad stuff for them?
Yeah.
Right? I would think that's what it is.
That's one of the reasons I started eating meat heavier, is because my glucose and insulin numbers were not good. And after, I don't know when I did blood work, 3 months after doing it, my blood work came back amazing.
How are your triglycerides?
Triglycerides were down a little bit, but still high.
Okay.
But cholesterol overall was up, but I think that's because I'm losing a lot of weight, and fat is cholesterol, so I'm releasing a lot of cholesterol stored, and so getting rid of that. Once I kind of level out on weight, my cholesterol and triglycerides should just bottom out, but we'll see.
I have no idea if this is actually true or not, if my mom was using this as like she's being hyperbolic, but I had an uncle who was so unhealthy at one point that she said she could see the cholesterol coming out his skin.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually true or not, but I mean, if there was a person in my family who would have that happen to them, it would be this person. So, no, we already talked about the boar's head. Well, just real quick, the inspectors found, back to the boar's head thing, they found insects, black and green mold, mildew, and more. But as far back as February of 2024, access to information request shows that inspectors recorded records described ample amounts of blood and puddles on the floor in a receiving cooler with a rancid smell in the cooler. So back in February, they were saying this is a problem, and then didn't force them to do a recall or anything like that. And then here's a list of retailers that sold boar's head deli meat that's been linked to the outbreak. It is Big Y or Biggie. I don't know which one that is. Defense Commissary Agency. So good, it got into our military. That's always good. Fry's Food Stores, H-E-B, Kroger Stores, Lowe's Foods. Lowe's has a food store?
I think that's something else.
No, it can't be. Has to be the same thing. Price Chopper, Schnucks, ShopRite, Sprouts, and Target. That is less than I would have thought of, to be honest. However, those 10 probably make up 90% of the places everybody goes to get food.
Minus Walmart.
Minus Walmart. Good point. And Food Line. Though I think Food Line and H-E-B are tied together somehow. Anyways, Vermont's invisible law. Hunters can sell venison. This is from Meat Eater. It's a really interesting article. I would kind of recommend anybody who's finds the thought process of you going out and harvesting a deer and selling it to your friends interesting to read up on it. But there is no federal law that forbids hunters from selling or buying meat from game animals they shoot. State laws enforce that ban, but not every state forbids it. Vermont hunters are allowed to do it. I think I agree with that. I don't think I see a reason why I can't go to my neighbor and go, hey, you just shot an elk? Can I have 50 pounds of it? Like, I'll give you $500 or whatever. I mean, you're making the choice.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with it. I think the issue is when you start to further commercialize it.
Yeah, I don't.
If it's just a friendly transaction, that's one thing. But
I don't think they're letting them set up, meat stands in a parking lot and being like, come buy this doe I just shot. But even that, I don't think I care about. If you want to go buy someone's doe who they just killed, sure, whatever. They went out and harvested and you just want the meat. I'm fine with that. CDC urges proper cooking of wild game after family sickened by bear meat. So the Federal Center for Disease Control and Prevention has reaffirmed the importance of properly cooking wild game after 6 people became sick from a parasite traced to an undercooked bear meat. Oop. Yep, you be quiet. I'm saying that.
Come
Stop
on, John.
taking the words right out of my mouth. The 6, 1 in South Dakota, 4 in Minnesota, and 1 in Arizona, became infected when bear meat that was served rare turned out to be contaminated with roundworms that caused trichinosis, also known as trichinolysis, also known as trichinosis. 2 of the people ate only vegetables that were grilled with the meat. While the meat had been frozen for 45 days, the trichinella worms are freeze resistant. That sucks. Because, right, that's how they make sushi safe to eat. They incredibly deep freeze it, kills off all the parasites. Persons who consume meat from wild game animals should be aware that adequate cooking is the only reliable way to kill trichinella parasites, and that infected meat can cross-contaminate other foods. So I don't know if everyone remembers this. We talked about this story a little bit ago. It was the guy in Arizona. He finally went back to the hospital like 2 days in a row, and they're like, okay, no, something is really wrong with you, and that's when they found out he was eating the bear meat. But if you remember 5, 6, 7, no, it's probably 8 years ago, the CDC changed, not the CDC, the USDA changed the cooking recommendations for pork because they were so concerned about trichinella. See you, Mason. They were so concerned with trichinella that they should tell people to cook it higher, and then like, hey, we haven't had a trichinella outbreak from someone eating pork in like 50 or 60 years, so they just lowered it.
What temp do you have to get to kill?
I'm pretty sure it's 160, unfortunately. It's 165.
What?
Yeah. So the number of times that I've cooked wild game up to 165 is 0.
Yeah, I don't like that. I was thinking because I was like, does it follow Appendix A?
Probably not, right? Because it's it's not a bacteria, it's a parasite.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because pork would not be the same if we had to go back to cooking to 165.
Absolutely not. Although we say that, people eat less pork now than they did when the CDC recommended you cook it to 165. Did we talk about how I read the article on them making a bad bet on pork? They thought it was going to be like the chicken.
Yeah.
So pork could also just be less tasty than it used to be. I mean, I complain endlessly, and to anyone who will listen, about the quality of pork butts I get right now. They are god awful compared to what they used to be, even just 5 years ago. Like, I legitimately grabbed one and pulled it apart with my hands. Like, that's how loose it was. I just went rip. I mean, obviously me, so I can do things like that. I'm weak and old now. How long to hang a deer for the tenderest meat? What would your guess be? Yeah, you already saw. Patrick, what would your guess be for how long to hang?
First of all, what a sick question. Second off,
like sick as in awesome?
No, it's postmortem. That's a good question, John. Could you repeat it?
How long should you hang deer meat to get the most tenderization out of it?
Oh, easy. Hang it 6 hours. 6 to 12 hours.
Okay. So it's 14 days.
Multiply that by days.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Hours.
Who would hang a deer? It would go terrible by then. Are you sure that this is the
I'm
right
positive.
podcast?
Yep, I'm
Are
positive.
you sure? Hold
Yep,
on.
pretty sure.
How many times have you done it?
Hung a deer 14 days?
Yeah.
0 times. I'm
Cool.
not hanging.
So we're on the same
Yeah,
page.
I'm not.
All right,
I'm
now
not
please
doing that.
continue your master class of hanging deer.
I'm
now.
too excited to eat it. Like, I'm not waiting 14 days just so I can.
Who's the guy that came up with that number? Like, no, 13. No, let's push it one
So
more.
it used to be longer.
Let's go.
They
And
used
then
to recommend it longer. Yep,
and they went
cut it
down.
down because they did studies and they're like, okay, there's nothing actually happening after 14 days that's increasing tenderization. You're just losing more of the meat. So
Sure.
they found 14 days to be the perfect time. All right. Michigan lawmakers aim to ban the sale of lab-grown meat statewide. So add Michigan to the list we were talking about, I think, 2 weeks ago. So it's Michigan, Nebraska, Alabama, Arizona, Nevada, and Florida. I think those are the states now that don't allow or are planning on not allowing lab-grown meat.
I thought we were listing best party schools. That's cool.
What would we have missed there?
LSU? Well, you had Arizona State.
I had Arizona.
Yeah.
Nope.
Something in California, probably. And then
I don't think they're.
maybe they're a little less now.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe, yeah, they can't party like
I mean,
us
it's always Florida.
Midwesterners.
It's
Yeah.
always Florida State.
Florida's
Ohio State.
UCF
Ohio
and
State.
Florida, for sure. So we got a couple there.
Ohio State used to always be the.
Yeah,
up
so
in
we're
that
just kind of,
ranking.
one Big Ten country off. We're there. So.
Okay. Moving on to wild card. South Carolina man bitten by world's most venomous snake that he was keeping as a pet.
What an idiot.
So I clicked on that article and I was like,
what's the snake?
it's called an inland taipan,
I feel like I would have heard of that by now.
which, no. Do you remember, how well do you remember Steve Irwin?
I mean, pretty well. Yeah, I think, me in pop culture of that era, I think I know
I'm
it
pretty
well.
sure it's the same thing as what he used to call the fierce snake.
Okay.
Do you remember that? It's the fierce snake. And
think-
he'd be holding it by the tails and be turning around.
Right.
It's the most deadliest snake in the world.
Don't do this,
Yeah.
but I'm going to grab its tail and make it right mad.
We really lost a star when he died.
Yeah.
I mean, what a...
Who had the one joke? He goes, "You never believe who died today."
That was Norm. Norm McDonald had it.
Really? Never?
That feel like I could have predicted that.
Yeah, hold on.
So a South Carolina man is battling for his life in a hospital after he was bitten by an inland taipan, the most venomous snake in the world. The number of times I've read people talking about poisonous snakes recently is unbelievable.
Napoleon, like anyone could even know.
I think like 90% of all like the small little articles are all written by AI. And I think AI is just like, yeah, poisonous, whatever. This is the only thing that makes sense. The number of times I'm reading poisonous instead of venomous.
Dude, my 6-year-old was like saying venomous correctly with like, I didn't prompt him to say poisonous, right? So it's like,
Because he knew.
yeah, well, it's just, that's what I mean. The shift is on, and then now AI doesn't know it because it hasn't had X amount of years to just be alive here.
Right.
So it's like, we're on to you, buddy.
According to Reptile Magazine, the man who is known for posting videos with exotic venomous snakes in his collection was free handling the snake when it bit him. The site said he posted a video handling the snake earlier that day and claiming he could control his movements. I can control his turn, he said in the video. There's no need to be scared of him.
I can quit anytime I want. This guy, come on.
WBTW identified the man as Jeffrey Leibowitz and said that a search of his property later turned up 14 snakes and a pet cat. Among the venomous snakes in his home, the site said, was a green mamba, 2 gaboon vipers, a fer-de-lance, a death adder, an eastern diamondback rattlesnake, and 2 other rattlesnakes of unknown species, 2 black forest cobras, 2 neotropical rattlesnakes, and a small rattlesnake, and the taipan.
I'm willing to
Those
bet.
gaboon vipers, have you ever been to our zoo and gone through that and seen our gaboon vipers? It's like a triangle, and it moves different than every other snake, and they have the ridiculous size fangs.
I'm willing to bet he started off with way more than 1 cat, though. You know?
That's what I was thinking too when I read that.
Sure.
It's like, yeah,
He's easily thinking, I have 4 cats.
where are the
what
other
are they
3?
talking about?
Dog bitten twice by snake while protecting its sibling and owner. This is a good boy. Did you click on it and see the picture of him?
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy. He's an English bulldog, and he got 2 bites from a rattlesnake right to the face. His name is Maverick. He was attacked on 2 occasions by the western diamondback rattlesnake while playing in his garden in southern Arizona. His brother was bitten once, but he was fine. They were bitten, and we were able to get them to the emergency vet within 30 minutes. The snake had come through our fence opening, and our dogs did not really freak out until I freaked out.
Huh.
But that poor guy's mouth, I mean, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to cut that open and drain a bunch of stuff.
Oh, he's definitely not a Slytherin, so.
Don't when he does things like that, don't address it.
What are you talking
Don't, you're only going to encourage him. Don't. It's not a Harry Potter podcast, Patrick.
Oh, my God.
Washington woman punches bear in the face during an attack.
such a Hufflepuff thing.
I mean,
to say.
what a level of badassery right there. She was with her dogs. Her dogs went running off after something.
She's from where?
Washington.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden she came face to face with a large black bear. She remembered a story where somebody punched the bear and it ran off, but she punched it and it didn't run off.
Yeah.
So she curled up into a ball and it was like pawing at her and it bit her head.
Oh.
But her dogs came back and like scared it off.
Oh, jeez.
And then she saw like bear cubs running through a field down. So like that's what happened.
And then I took one of them,
right.
to get my revenge, I took it down by the creek. You don't understand. And I let the dogs play with it. And had a great time.
Just do nice things to it. But no, pretty badass. Good on her for fighting back.
So just scrapes and bruises. How do you get that? Like, how do you go to the ER and go like, a bear was biting my head? You go, sure, lady, whatever.
All right. If Colorado voters ban mountain lion hunting, would the feline's population explode or stabilize on its own? This is a really well-written article that presents both sides of the argument. So whoever the author is, Elise Schmeiser, well done.
No, say her real name. It sounds like you're just kind of like
Elise Schmeiser.
Fana,
Schmeiser.
Schmeiser.
Schmeiser. I don't even know what her opinion is on it, really, after reading it.
That's good.
Right.
So right down the pipe.
So like what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm
very
not
well
used to
done.
like neutral journalism.
No, because everything's so like, oh, it's this or it's that.
Well, there's people put their name on it in a way that's like, this is my twist. Thanks for reading. Like they feel the need to have such a niche idea about something maybe ordinary that it comes off as so disingenuous that we just go, who cares what
not
you're
listening
saying?
to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I have not forgotten my. Oh, geez.
Well,
now I can't remember it.
I have not forgotten
my Gelman amnesia effect. Like when I read poisonous on a website now, when they're talking about venomous, I go, I'm no longer paying any attention to this website because you don't know that. Why do I trust that you know anything else?
Perfect. Yeah.
So, all right. Missouri's most snake-infested lake is 40,000 acres of vipers.
What
Do you want to take a guess at what that?
I can't even.
What?
I can't
The
even.
pits of hell.
Can't even
What
look
do you
at that.
say?
Why are we so snake heavy this week? Like,
Don't know.
I think you're doing it on purpose. Next story.
Unsure. No. It's Table Rock. I've been to Table Rock plenty of times. Patrick's been there. Did you ever see a snake while you were there?
I don't even believe him.
I hate water snakes though. It was the last time I was fishing over Labor Day. I was fishing and there's water snake and they're just curious, but they're coming up, want to check, and I'm like, because I got two little kids there, I'm like, get away.
And if it's one of those Western Diamondback water snakes, they can be fairly aggressive.
So how many syllables? You know it's bad news. You know, West like ba ma 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 ma.
But also, why would you call something a Western Diamondback rattlesnake and a Western Diamondback water snake? I feel like we're asking for like
quick, get out of the water. Why? What is it?
it's a Western Diamondback.
Well, is it like the difference between a brown bear and a grizzly bear?
No.
Okay.
No. So the water snake's not a viper. So you can always tell. Shape of the head is usually the best. In America, shape of the head is the best one. Like if it's got that kind of arrowhead shape, that wide, thick arrowhead shape, stay away from it. It's also got slit pupils, but nobody.
I love being.
Do you remember the picture I sent you of that one snake where I was like, you can't possibly be afraid of this because it's got the goofiest eyes of all time?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I suppress all memories related to snakes.
I've been in the water with a snake and it's coming towards you, and you really see how bad people are.
Like pushing other people.
Well, they just don't move as someone else is like, guys, do something. And they're just like, well, I don't want it to come near me, so I'm not gonna A, grab it, or B, make your situation worse. So I'm just gonna not do anything and just see how it plays out.
Go underwater.
Oh, they can't go.
Snakes
down?
can't bite you.
Oh,
underwater.
they can't bite
Yep,
underwater.
They don't open their mouths underwater.
Oh.
I feel like,
Interesting.
come on.
I don't know if that's true at all.
Yeah.
What 4-year-old told you
I
that?
don't know. I literally have no idea. But that's what I would do if a snake was coming at me on the surface. I would just dive.
I would not. I would get out of there.
That's what I would do. Get away from the danger.
I sounded like I was going to start the song Wipeout there.
All right. On June 17th, 1994, in the midst of the infamous O.J. Simpson Broncos chase, Domino's Pizza had their busiest day on record up until that point, rivaling a typical Super Bowl Sunday. People were so enthralled by the bizarre nature of what was happening, they didn't want to miss a moment. So instead of making dinner, many people ordered pizza. How old were you when that was happening?
3 years old.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I didn't even
Do
know
you
what
remember
happened.
Not really. I was like 5, and like I remember like stuff going on, but I don't actually remember it.
It was so exciting. Like,
Because you're like, oh my God, they caught him. He's a murderer. There he is. He's
no, just like the chase.
Yeah, no.
Like
for
it was
sure.
unbelievably exciting.
But the
and
implications of the chase, it's like, well, he's definitely.
He
Why
did it.
else? Why else
yeah,
run?
why else
Yeah.
did it? Yeah, he did it.
No. Yeah.
Patrick's got a theory. Is that kid special needs?
What are you
His
talking
son?
about? Whose son?
O.J. Simpson's son?
I don't know what's the theory. I
That
say a lot of
O.J.
theories.
Simpson's son did it?
That's not me, dude.
That's 100%.
I didn't know he has a son. No,
you told me about it. I looked it up.
No, mine.
And there's actual evidence that it was.
I
his
might
son,
have.
not
I might
him.
have. I might have read it. I don't think so. I know he's Khloe Kardashian's father. Other than that, I don't know about.
That's probably
So
true.
why did we bring this up?
I don't know. It was pizza. I just found that. I was like, that is
He'll
awesome.
link a pizza there.
fact that-
I found out. So John tells us his favorite pizza place of all time. It's called Scotty's, and I thought of the perfect punishment ever. Is that like if John, the next thing he loses, I'm gonna call in as John to Scotty's every day for like a month and ask for the same thing and not go and pick it up and order it. So next time when he does order
It's a
Scotty's,
punishment for something.
so when you do order Scotty's, they won't take your order next
Listen,
time.
I would never agree to that. and
No. What do you have to do with it? I know the name.
It has to
I
be
know.
a bet.
Oh, I could just do it for fun. I used to prank call people in the 6th grade.
Is your refrigerator running?
Do I have to call Scotty's and tell them not to take orders?
No, not yet.
It's a small family business,
Scott-
Patrick.
Scott, I know. They wouldn't. They'd hate you.
No, they'd hate you. They would not.
They don't know
They'd
me.
never believe that of me.
They don't know me, man.
No.
Hey,
they'd never believe that of me.
Scotty, it's me, John Tremblay. No, not Paul. John, I'm coming in later today. Listen, 2 giant pies, regular, the way I like them. Yeah, like that. You know exactly.
You
how.
see, you don't even know what my.
I
You would
did-
screw up the order, and he'd know immediately that it wasn't
Pepperoni
me.
pizza.
No.
No, he gets
Nope.
a large marinara pie. He told me the other day, and I specifically asked for this. No, I don't. I don't think that far ahead.
No, that is what I get.
I know you told me.
Oh, okay. All right. Croc horror. Fisherman 25 killed in a horror croc attack after being dragged in the water by beast while collecting nets. A fisherman has been tragically killed in a horrible crocodile attack. Brano Camille Nahak was last seen heading to the river to carry out his routine job. When the 25-year-old failed to return, concerned colleagues went to search that evening. However, they only found the victim's T-shirt, shoes, cap, motorbike, and a ripped net. Suspecting that he might have been attacked by a crocodile, they immediately informed the local fire department. How would you like to be a firefighter and someone be like, hey, crocodile got a guy, you got to go do something about it? I'd be like, yeah, no. I think you
Rough.
want a hunter is what you want.
I'd be like, first of all, that guy just vanished. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
His
you don't know where he is.
his shorts, and his shoes right there.
Upon arrival, a search operation was conducted. The victim's body was found by the team about 1 kilometer from where he was believed to have been attacked by the crocodile.
That's crazy.
Those
They
guys,
probably
those
had to-
guys barely canvassed then.
They probably had to go into the water to get the body. No,
No.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, no.
There's
I'm not.
no amount like,
What do you put?
hey, it's your job. Yeah, okay, well then I quit.
What do you strap on that?
I'm not going for. I'm not gonna be victim
Now, a
number
car-
2. You
now-
know the crocodile's around here somewhere, right?
What about like when they can't find people and then they're in their cars down there and then like are you more likely to go rig up a car and bring it out
Sure.
or okay for
Yeah.
sure me too.
Yeah, that one-
That's not even a question, right?
A good American car, right? Like where there's not crocodiles.
Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, oh yeah, you know we're in
Let's be
like
clear
yeah,
about that.
we're in like Ohio or something.
Very good. Yep, no problems then whatsoever. How many people do you think are killed by crocs every year?
Globally,
Tens of thousands.
Okay.
1,200.
Well, Patrick's close. It's around 1,000 people a year, they say.
I'm back, baby.
So they're 100 times more deadly than sharks, is what they say. Stealthy jaguar hunts down resting crocodile. I've seen them where they dive on them. Watch it from here. I've seen them where they dive on them in the future or in the past. But look, you could see the ripple coming up and that crocodile just sitting there. He's going, nope, it's too late. The thing goes completely underwater and is swimming up on this crocodile on the beach. And it just like 3 feet from it comes out of water, grabs it by the head and just drags it down.
The Jaguar Hunts crocodile.
We've been over this dozens of times on this podcast because I'm obsessed with this fact.
This is amazing.
They bite them right through the spinal column. Like they have perfect precision, and they have such a strong bite that they just sever their spine like in a
I
single bite.
like it.
It's unbelievable.
We need more jaguars.
We do need more jaguars. Gigantic bear strolls through panicked crowd at Lake Tahoe Beach. I told Patrick this. Do you know taurons? Do you know the term tauron? It's a combination of the word moron and tourist. So it's like idiots who go to Yellowstone. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to touch the buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always made fun of those people. I'm telling you now that if I saw this bear walking down this beach and I was right there, I'd be like, I'm going to go hug it. Like that thing is adorable. It's fat.
People
it's
are just-
fluffy.
Hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be,
Wow.
I don't, especially if I'd had some drinks in me, that thing's getting hugged and then probably killed because it's going to maul me.
Well,
So
it's
it's
getting
starting to
killed
happen.
or you're getting killed.
Oh, it's going to maul me and then they'll kill it later because I'm an idiot.
I thought you were saying you're going to make a defensive stance and put it in.
No, that's a big bear.
It's going to make a first move, so I got to put it out of its misery.
I got to get
So-
it in half
yeah.
guard.
I heard you can punch a bear in the face.
I heard that. Yeah, and sometimes it'll just run off. But I don't want to punch it in the face. I want to go hug it because it's adorable.
That's wild.
Slippery situation. Japanese eels have evolved the ability to escape a predator's stomach after they've been eaten.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh. That's, whoa.
Right? I don't like that at all. So when you think about it, like when
They're just
when
probably
a
not, they're swallowed.
they're just swallowed, they're not right. So like when a bass eats, say like a frog, it just grabs the frog and goes down. It doesn't like chew it up or anything, right? It'll shake it a little bit to stun it, but then it just swallows it. So if the eels are still alive in that and they're slippery enough, they could get back up and then they get out their gills. So they first, they first saw this when they caught some fish and they were holding them, and then all of a sudden eels started coming out of the fish's gills, and they're like, "What the heck is that?"
Oh.
So they started doing studies on it. Anything that's even snake-like, you hate.
Scaly. That's what it is.
Do you know what a lamprey is?
Nope. I don't want to know any more about anything
Oh, is it the
right
thing
now.
that has like
I'm
the
just,
giant
I'm ready to be
hook in front of
done.
it? Like the shark with teeth where it can't see.
No.
and then it's-
A lamprey is an eel that it's like, here's the eel's body, here's its head. Its whole bottom is a mouth full of like ridiculous teeth, and it just attaches to things.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I think it just eats
Yeah.
their blood.
Do you see those AI videos of like deep sea creatures, and it's like we found new
Yeah,
species,
dude, I was
and
getting so sick of
and
those.
they morph.
Oh.
and they look cool.
Do you remember why I initially deleted TikTok from my phone?
No.
So you were talking about it a couple years ago, and I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'm like, I downloaded it, and I was working out, and I was like, I wonder what they have on here for like just cell phone footage of great white sharks I've never seen before. And then all of a sudden I looked up, and I'm like, oh my, it's been an hour, and I hadn't worked out at all. I just been sitting there going, I've never seen that one before. I've never seen that one before.
Yeah.
Well, I re-downloaded it, and guess what I did last night?
Oh, nice.
Same thing. I'm like, oh my God, 11:53. I gotta go to bed. I was just constantly like, there's so much content I've never seen on there that I was amazed.
You gotta learn to unplug. Like use it, but then don't
We
use it.
got to be seeing Bigfoot soon, dude. That's all I'm saying. We have cameras everywhere now. We're seeing all this shark stuff. We're seeing people we're seeing the blood in the water now. I want to see a big hairy guy walking in the woods.
So Alabama has a Bigfoot, like a Sasquatch legend
Sure.
that they call the White Thang,
Okay. cool.
Thang,
All right.
that they think somebody just caught on camera, but they think it's a white, either tiger or an albino puma or something.
Did you see
So-
that giant wall that guy ran into in Siberia in the forest? It's
What
just this
happened?
giant wall. You know, like the ending of the Truman Show, where it's just like a giant wall of sky. This guy in Siberia in the forest, he just found a giant wall of nothingness, and it's meant to look like a forest or stuff like that. It's just,
Seriously?
yeah, it's on YouTube. It was uploaded like 4 months ago, but I don't know how deep the lore goes.
Okay.
I'm still this surface level with it, and it seems fun, so I don't want to get it destroyed too quickly. But yeah, it's worthwhile, I think.
All right, I'll check that out. All right, we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.